Welcome back to the Movement is Medicine podcast. Dr. Gene Shirakabrad here with Dr. Megan Weezer, Dr. Corey. I'm riding a high because I just heard a heartbeat. How?
Baby heartbeat.
Whose baby?
Mine. Have you said it on the podcast?
I was just going to ask that.
I don't think we have.
I don't think we have.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Surprise! Carrie's having a baby. I'm not having the baby.
No, just Gary.
Just Carrie.
You were
Yep.
participating how?
Yep. We got to listen to the heartbeat today. Everything sounded good. Did you know the placenta makes noise?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, so it's an organ that helps profuse blood flow to the baby.
Mhm.
So just like your pulse, you hold the Doppler to where the placenta is, and you can hear a whooshing sound of the placenta whooshing blood to the baby, I guess.
That's
So
interesting.
It's cool.
I remember learning that people eat the placenta when Jamie was pregnant.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
Yeah,
no.
I think they often capsulate it. Like, I don't know if they dry it, but they put it in capsules and eat it. I don't know if there's good research as to support eating that or not, but it's
I don't think so.
odd.
At
Yeah.
least from what I remember, because it's not a mainstream practice, right? If
Right.
it's
Yeah.
Not to say all.
Hard to have research for
Yeah.
that.
But they save pieces of that tissue, like for stem cells and
I did
umbilical
know that,
cords
yeah.
Mhm.
and things like that. But like giving birth is a big business, whether it's like it really is. Like from the hospital, right? That's they make a lot of money off of prenatal wing, neonatal and all that.
Man,
Obviously,
it's expensive as fuck to have a kid in America.
Yeah, I mean it used to be I think like $250,000 to raise a kid. Yeah, from birth to like college.
No, I heard 4 times that.
And
I heard $1 million.
It's gotten a lot higher since then. I think over the last like 20 years.
Yeah.
I think it's in the 500,000 to 700,000 range per kid to raise a kid. So they are expensive. They do.
No kidding.
Someone that has 2, I can confirm, they are very, very expensive and dirty.
And dirty. You're dirty.
Very dirty. Well, if you're going to play their game, Megan, you got to be at their level.
All right.
You got to play chess here, not checkers with these children. When is Carrie due? Let's give them the full story then.
Well, it all happened one night. No, I'm just kidding.
Earmuffs.
Yeah.
March 10th is the official due date. We are mentally preparing for, like, after that. Oftentimes, first pregnancies go a little late. So instead of...
Really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
So instead of preparing for March 10th, we're thinking, like, we're mentally preparing for March, I don't know, for like 21st or something. A little
Like
St.
bit
I'm
after
Patrick's
picking
that.
Day?
the dates that none of my family members have birthdays.
Yes, whatever
It's very
day
nice.
is not in March that your
Not
birthdays
many.
are on.
Not many.
So that if it comes early, then great. If it doesn't, we're already prepared for later than March 10th. But yeah, March 10th is the estimated due date. Scans have been going great. The baby is growing as expected, according to the last ultrasound that we had, which was 12 weeks, and Carrie is 16 and a half weeks right now. So
That's fun.
next scan will be 20 weeks.
Both of our kids were always small, like in utero. Like the first one, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Because they're like, here are the statistics. Your baby is in this percentile. And you're like, oh my God, there's something wrong. Are we doing something wrong? What do we need to do? And then they're born. Aaron was born, and he was like 6 pounds, 8 ounces or something like that.
Oh, little.
Yeah, because he was 3 weeks early, and Zoe was early too. But they're like 5th percentile, and you're like, is something wrong? They're like, oh no, it's fine. And they're like, so what are you saying? Like, is this good? Is this bad? Like, what are you saying? And they can't say anything. And they're like, this is neither good nor bad. Like, those percentiles are so messed up.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like the weather, right? When you look at the weather and you see the percentage, you think it's a 40% chance of raining, but it's an area map. So you're reading the percentages wrong. So you have one idea, but it's something completely different. So
I've heard that. Is that actually true?
I think so.
Did the internet tell you that?
I mean, who else is going to tell me that? A meteorologist? Like, I'll trust the internet over a meteorologist at this point. But those percentiles, they're statistically based on the population, but they're accurate to itself, which is what they don't clearly tell you, which is infuriating, right? It's only relevant to the growth of the individual against themselves, not the population at large. Meaning, like, if they start at the 0.5th percentile, but they're trending upward, even if they finish at the 8th percentile, that's still a healthy growth. Versus
I see what you're
the
saying.
parent focuses on, oh my God, they're in the 4th
Compared
percentile.
to, yeah.
Exactly. So they're comparing it to the population at that age, which is not the best approach to go about it, at least for mental sanity. So that's good luck with that. Have fun.
Yeah. So we've had three ultrasounds, and each one, the estimated, so they tell you baby size, like based on estimated how far along you are.
Yeah.
So they'll say baby is measured at 16 weeks and 3 days, where the woman could be 15 weeks and 5 days,
Right.
but the baby's measuring 16 weeks. And every time we've gone, it's been precise to the day. Like at 6 weeks and 2 days, it's a girl.
Look at that smile.
She
It won't last long.
measured 6 weeks and 2 days. At 12 weeks and 3 days, it was 12 weeks and 3 days. So that's encouraging. I don't know. It doesn't mean anything really. It's just that things are growing to be expected.
Yeah, I mean that's great. I think the uncertainties that come with parenthood, especially the first one, that's the biggest thing. It's like there's so many unknowns and nobody gives you a clear answer, right? And then everybody gives you an answer that you don't want an answer from. Right? Everyone's like, well, this happened to us, or this happened to our friend, or this happened to our sister, and you're like, I mean, thank you. I guess you're coming from a place of best intentions, but
Yeah.
But shut up.
yeah, but the relevance is so meaningless, right? It's kind of like somebody talking about pain and saying, hey, you have low back pain. Well, my cousin had a disc that exploded out of his asshole. Right? So I don't want to scare you, but it sounds very much like what happened to him. And you're just like, I mean, my back's a little sore, but I don't want it to come out of my asshole. So how's that progression been so far? Like, how are you guys processing and preparing
For the kid,
for life, for new life?
we have purchased 3 or 4 different strollers.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Because she will need multiple ones?
No, just to test.
Oh.
Because what we're finding is registries are overwhelming, and you don't know just everything about babies are overwhelming.
Like I said, it's a big business.
Yeah, so there's 100 different kinds of car seats and strollers and anything. So, and you go to the store and it's hard to test something. Like a lot of them at the store are tied down, so you can't push them and maneuver them and take them down, put them up. So we've bought, I think 3, and there's one supposed to come in the mail today that we're just buying and returning just to try out. See how easy it is to put in and out of the car. So that's something that we're doing.
That's good. Definitely go for the lightest one.
The lightest one?
100%.
Yeah.
Lightest one, and that has some shock absorption, like the jogging strollers. Definitely jogging strollers. Really the biggest, like, that's for you guys. For the baby, it's definitely the breathability of the mesh, like the seat.
Okay.
Because they get so hot. The babies are like little furnaces. The car seats, the strollers, like, that's the thing. Does it clean up easily, and is it the breathability of it?
Yeah.
So let's put you in the stroller and see if you get hot and sweaty.
One of them that we bought and returned, we didn't think it was a good breathable material.
Yeah.
It felt plasticky, and I think that would just get too hot for the kid. So, also Carrie doesn't like when I refer to the baby as the kid.
I was just gonna comment on
Yeah.
that. Why not?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know, cause she's a little baby, not a kid.
She's a kid though. Still.
My dad used to call me boy.
What? Really?
Yeah. Like if I call him, he'll be like, "Hey, boy."
And then he remembered your name?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I think I told you he used to tell everyone my name was Homer.
Yeah.
When I was still in my mom's tummy.
I mean, kid compared to that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Homer Howe.
Homer how.
How?
And it would be dead serious. Like when people would laugh and say he's kidding, he's like, "Why are you laughing?" That's my son's name.
That's what drives the joke home.
Yeah.
That's great. Why,
Yes.
why are you
Making them
laughing?
uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing at my child's name? Bring dishonor.
Otherwise, I've been fortunate to be able to go to all of her prenatal visits so far. So that's been very nice. I don't know what else we're doing. We're in a big waiting game, I guess.
I think that's my advice to you is just accept the peace and calm in between.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's such a pull to just do stuff for the sake of doing stuff in this stage, right? Because you're literally waiting. So I think just enjoying that slight kind of there's always this underlying wave of tension,
Mhm.
right? Like at this stage, and that never goes away. Like just start accepting that. Like there's before kid where you're like, oh, I can kind of detach my brain, but like as soon as you have a child, even in utero, there's this whisper of unending, never relenting tension. It just doesn't go away. Right? Like in the back of your brain, like you're always there's this.
I already have
piece
that,
of
and I don't have a kid.
It gets
Just
worse.
imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that we are having difficulty navigating is all of the appointments, and because we were going through, and mostly this is Carrie, so shout out to her, but trying to figure out what OB practice or things like that. So we had multiple different visits with different places and birthing classes, trying to. Don't do that.
Oh my God, do not do that.
Oh no.
Oh, stay away from birth classes.
Why?
That was the bane of my existence. Like if I had to say very clearly the one thing I despised about the pregnancy period, and we didn't do it
Why?
with Zoe, is birth classes.
Why?
Because it is horrific waste of time. Like you don't learn anything. They don't tell you anything productive. The stuff that they were teaching is already outdated. Like Lamont's breathing and all the breathing. At least when this was 11 plus years ago when Aaron was born. And it was like Thursday after work, so it was like Thursday night. And you had to be there for 2.5 hours.
That is,
and it really felt like punishment.
That is what we're running into. Is a lot of the classes are from 7 to 9 p.m.
Oh God,
don't
hell no.
Don't
in
do it.
Baltimore.
Don't do it. I'm telling you will not learn anything.
There's
You
got to
will
be a
hate
YouTube
yourself.
channel out there that would
Just don't do it.
tell you
And
everything
none of
you
it
need
is
to know.
relevant during birth. Like you don't use anything that they tell you. Like they tell you, here's the birth process, here's how it happens. But like you and Carrie know that.
Mhm.
Like you know what to expect for the most part. And like you're not going to learn anything that you don't already know. You'll just be angry. 100%.
Just be angry.
I've never been more certain in anything I've told you in
He's
my
very
life.
adamant.
You
Yeah.
will be furious, and it will just take away from the birth experience.
Maybe it'd be good for me because I'm not mad very often.
That should not be the first one. That should not be the first one. I despised baby
This little
class.
girl's gonna eat you alive.
Yeah.
Oh, I already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
in trouble.
And she's going to spend a lot of time with Uncle Gene, so
What?
we're going to prepare her. She will not be born with any Midwest.
Oh, that's right. She'll be
Full East Coast.
full East Coast.
We're going full East Coast right out of the womb.
Are you a
So I should get to spend some time
Yes.
with her. Okay.
Aunt Megan and Uncle Gene are going to spend some time with the baby. Yeah.
You guys are gonna feed it Jersey bagels and crabs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put a little Old Bay in the breast milk.
Ew.
In the baby bottle. Yeah. It's going to be great. Well, we'll obviously keep everyone updated on baby How as she progresses in her journey to East Coast life.
The East Coast life. Is that what you said?
Megan's going to give her like a rattle with a little
Shank.
This is how we do it in Jersey. Shank, shank.
Oh God.
Mark, one of the members here, bought the
The baby dumbbell.
little baby dumbbell rattle. So
Aw.
cute.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's cool.
I use that to demonstrate.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's
It
hilarious.
makes a little rattle noise.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
I use it as a little musical shake. That's good.
It's good. Yeah.
Yeah, it works. All right, let's finish out last 12 minutes or so. I think the baby conversation's a good kind of transition. I've had a few conversations with people like new members starting out and some members now that are in this let's call it unbalanced, or I don't know the word yet, but it'll come to me. But I'm thinking about sacrifices. They're making sacrifices because people have a plate, right? And on this plate, they're saying, I have children, I have work, I have bills, I have my health, I have significant other, I have friends.
Skittles. That's on my plate.
You're not allowed that.
Yes, I know. Okay.
Yeah.
Continue.
But they have this plate of life. And what they're saying is, based on how it's shaping out, I can't have it all. I can't have everything on my plate. So they're misguided. Let's call it misguided sacrifices. So they're saying, I have to pick. I have these 10 things, but realistically, I can only do 3. And I have my spouse and kids. That's 2 out of 3. I only have room for 1 more. And shocking amount of people do not choose their health as the third, or even put it into that conversation, right? So they're saying, hey, work is requiring this of me, seemingly, even though they might have like some latitude at work, whether it's, a project, but they're pushing themselves into it. So they're making these misguided sacrifices, and becoming a parent, obviously you'll make a ton of sacrifices. But I've been having these conversations, and a lot of people have blinders to it, right? They're saying, I'm doing this, and then I'll come back and double back and then focus on my health, or then I'll start regularly exercising, and, the project will die down soon and I'll be able to do this again. And we had like a conversation before, right? Saying that the best time to create a behavior is when it's seemingly impossible. That if you can make it work during the most seemingly daunting times, then you can actually create a habit for it. So I thought it'd be good to chat. Kind of, you guys can share your experiences when you feel like there's too much and you have to give stuff up. Like, how do you refocus or recenter yourself? How do you prioritize essentials in your life without losing sight of kind of that North Star of what's truly important, and not letting go of that, like health, exercise, being consistent, eating habits, sleep, relationships? What do you guys think?
How do I prioritize that?
Yeah,
like my health?
Recalibrate so you can see perspective again. I think that's the biggest thing, is helping people get to that perspective point.
It's a good question.
I know.
I don't know. I'm overwhelmed right now.
How are you managing that?
I'm not.
I succumb to it. I go into the darkness.
I'm a list person, so I write down the things that I need to get done and that can get done, and then prioritize what should get done right now. And then once I have that all down, it still overwhelms me, and then I'm like, okay, what can you control right now? And go with that.
Is your first item on the list make a list, and then you cross that off, and it's like, wow, I already did one
people
thing.
make their bed in the morning.
Yeah.
I make my bed every morning.
Start your day with
success.
with a win.
Yep.
I hate making the bed. I hate making lists.
Do you check them twice?
I'm always naughty, not nice.
He's not.
No.
How do you feel about diapers?
What?
I haven't been in one
Since last week.
in a long time.
Since I was Homer.
No, I'm bad at prioritizing myself. So my first thought was, I'm fortunate to have a spouse that tries to do that for me, or to remind me. Just yesterday, I was considering. I've been having some like TMJ pain for quite a few months, and I was saying, I think I might quit going to the TMJ guy, because it's time to go there, time to come back. And Carrie's like, no, this is your health. You don't get to say you don't want to spend $30, once a week or whatever.
To have somebody shove their hands in their mouth.
Yeah, this is this is your health. You have to prioritize that.
Yeah.
And so somebody, if you're bad at it like me, somebody advocating for you is helpful. And that's,
or when your colleague says, hey, you only had 4 almonds today, eat some food.
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very specific story.
Oddly specific.
Was there a day you only ate 4 almonds?
Yeah, I'm not hungry when I wake up at 4:30.
Yeah, that's fair. Neither am I. I don't eat until like in between the 6 and 7 a.m. class.
I don't eat until like noon.
Okay.
And not because I'm choosing to intermittent fast or anything. It's just what happens. Like
Your body fully wakes up at noon.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not hungry in the morning, and then I don't eat between classes, and then sometimes I'll have a patient or a one-on-one, and then next thing I know, it's almost noon, and I haven't really eaten anything. Carrie also gets mad at that for me.
She and I are in agreement with that.
And one day I was having trouble coming up with words, I think, and Gina
Probably
was
because you had no calories
yeah,
in you.
Gina was like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "Well, I've only had 4 almonds to eat today."
You literally could not put cohesive words together.
That's when I know I should have eaten maybe like 2 hours ago.
Yeah. But I remember that scene from Evan Almighty or Bruce Almighty when like Evan's trying to talk and then Bruce is like behind the scenes going blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
And the weather I'm like, what are you trying to say to me right now? I've only had 4 almonds. Oh, okay. That explains.
But that's to the point of like not prioritizing myself or whatever. I don't know. In regards to food, I'm very much a convenience person, so I don't bring stuff to warm up in the microwave here because that's too much work.
Oh my God.
And
says the man about to have a baby.
But for someone else,
yeah,
I'll run to the store now.
You are, yes. You're a very serving person.
And go get your
Yeah,
food
it's
for you.
stupid.
It is stupid.
But I won't do that for myself, and
Yeah.
I know it's frustrating for Carrie, and it should be more frustrating for me. But
you don't care about yourselves. You just care about her being frustrated.
Apparently, I don't care about myself.
Yeah.
So it's something that I'll continue to work on.
Mm-hmm.
I brought food today, actually.
That's
Well
progress.
done.
I ate it right before this podcast.
Good. I saw you eating. Yep.
Yep.
It's good.
I
think it'll change because you model behavior for your kids, and they truly
Yeah.
do act as
Sure.
you act, not what you say to them. Right. So they will model that behavior, which is why Zoe is, God help us.
I also think there's what I was gonna say is there's something to like even if we don't feel like eating or whatever, we know we need it to make words.
At the very least.
And at the very least to think, to like do our jobs and whatnot. Like, I don't know. The past few days, I think I even said it right before this podcast. I was like, I don't feel like eating. But like, I also know if I don't eat, my workout's going to suck later, or I'm going to get to a point where I'm just hangry and annoying, and I won't be able to think or whatever. Like, there's just, I guess, like zooming out and reminding yourself that like, okay, I don't feel like doing this right now, / I don't feel like I have time to do this right now, to your example, but I need to at least do some small portion of that thing that I know is good for me and will help future me.
Agreed. I think a lot of people have, maybe even subconscious, not like purposeful, but they have like this regressive spiral where they know that they have certain range before they hit rock bottom where they can kind of recalibrate and restart and say, I can't go any lower, so I have to do what I haven't been able to do, right? So for a lot of people, it's either a health event or they put on weight and they go, I can't keep doing this, or somebody gets sick or really hurt in their family, right? It's this high emotional moment, and they're like, this is truly the bottom for this situation, so I have to do that. And I think a lot of times people use that subconsciously as they know there's lower to go, and they keep going until they hit that point, and then they go, something needs to change, right? Or just completely give up and give in to that, which I think thankfully most people don't. And that's, society doesn't give you an opportunity to come back for air a lot of times.
Yeah.
So like you have to be very purposeful with creating the environment around you that when you feel yourself sinking down, that it's not just on you to swim up, right? That you can have somebody that sees that and says, hey, dipshit, you've only had 4 almonds today. So we're going to go out and I'm going to literally shove a cheeseburger in your mouth, which has happened before. And
remember we got the triple cheeseburger from Five Guys?
Yeah.
It was too much cheeseburger.
It was a lot of cheeseburger.
The meat to other ingredient ratio was a little off.
That was a lot of meat.
2 probably would have been better.
Two would have been
Two's
good.
ideal.
Yep.
2's ideal.
Got it.
So a double cheeseburger and a single cheeseburger, that would have been good.
Yeah. but it's not the same as a triple cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Lesson learned.
What the hell?
My strategy to finish out with is I am not an emotionally driven person.
Ah, I am.
Yes, you and I are very different. Jamie is too. Jamie's very emotionally driven, my wife. But I'm not. So when there's something that I'm feeling, if it's like frustrated or other emotions that I think exist,
He doesn't feel them.
I
He's an
approach
AI.
it, I approach it
Yeah.
with curiosity. I'm like, instead of going into it, I take a step back and ask, what is it about life around me that is causing this to happen? And then I approach that allows me to kind of recalibrate and almost take a third person perspective to that situation, right? To say, hey, I'm feeling frustrated or tired or I don't know, what are the emotions? Happy,
well,
there's good ones.
Yeah.
Right?
I think
Overwhelmed.
that's not an
Overwhelmed?
emotion, but like an experience.
A
Yeah.
feeling, yeah. So
Overwhelmed isn't an emotion.
I wouldn't call
I
that
think it's
an
a f-
emotion.
a
That's
state of
it's just like
being.
a human experience, I think.
Yeah, I think it's fair because there's like an emotion wheel. There's a wheel of emotions. There's like 5 or 6 main emotions, and then everything else is like a branch of those. But yeah, I asked that question: is why? What about now is making me feel this way, and then how do I approach that in a way that I can structure life? So if I don't want that, then I don't have to have it. Or if I like it, how do I go into that and do more of that's leading to that? And I try to just constantly do that, whether in the moment or end of the day, do an end of the day audit. And then actually do something about it, not just think through it and be like, oh, here it is. Okay, whatever. And then move on or go more into it. Say, okay, here's what's going on. How do I structure the next day to do something about it, to change it a little bit, to move the needle forward in a way that I want to?
Sometimes you can't do anything about it, though.
No,
Like sometimes
you can't.
things, it is what it is, and you have to accept that, and then I guess choose your next action.
Yeah, but acceptance is a thing, right?
It's fair.
Sometimes saying, hey, I get it. I just need to kind of accept it and deal with the suck for a little bit. That's part of it too. But that'll help you kind of structure your life a little bit too. Like if you know you're going to be in suckage for a little while, then you just try to surround yourself with people that kind of bring you some joy and happiness. So at least a part of your life isn't there. But it's the sacrifices, right? The misguided sacrifices. That's the whole thing. It's if you have to make sacrifices, at least be very strategic and purposeful and truly
Right, like what are you
analyze.
sacrificing for?
Exactly. What is the end goal here? What's the big picture? And hardly ever is your health the sacrifice that needs to be made or should be made, even though it seems like it's the easiest one because you feel like you have the most control over that, right? Because you can say, hey, I'll come back to it, whereas I can't come back to those things, and that's a false narrative. That's usually doesn't prove to be true. So let us know what you think. Are you making some misguided sacrifices? Do you have somebody you can talk through, work through that with? Obviously, therapists are great at helping you navigate that, but having an environment and people you trust is good as well. So leave a comment below. Let us know. And as always, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe and follow along to the Movement is Medicine podcast for Recharge. Catch you in the next one.